Dan Dickau, Scorebook Live, Washington, rounding out our all-state accolades this time at the 4A level. It's pretty easy when you look at the body of work for many of these players, both what they did in non-conference league play, playoffs, and state tournament, to single out these 5 and 6 players when you include our Player of the Year to be a part of the Scorebook Live Washington All-State team. Starting as a senior from Mount Si, going to be heading to Montana State, kind of came in as what was viewed as maybe a 3-and-D guy at the high school level, but really showed an expanded game and expanded skill set as a senior, played his best basketball of the year for Coach Jason Griffith. A senior, Tyler Patterson, our first member of our 4A All-State team. Second member from Gonzaga Prep. Gonzaga Prep had a very interesting year. They had to replace Player of the Year from a season ago, Anton Watson, who's now at Gonzaga University, who kind of did so many things on the offensive and defensive end for Coach Matty McIntyre's ball club. So Liam Lloyd steps in, has to figure out how to be a leader, how to continue to provide an offensive spark on the offensive end, but also do things on the defensive end. And Liam Lloyd did just that. Has signed with Grand Canyon University. He's another member of our 4A All-State team. Staying on the east side of the state, a player who his numbers and his stats don't jump out at you if you're just looking at that type of value to a team. But when you look at his overall impact, when you talk about defensive presence, his leadership, his ability to get his guys to play at a pace that's going to give them the best chance of winning, you look none other than the senior point guard from Central Valley, and that's Jay Simmons. Central Valley had a surprising year, got all the way to the state title game, weren't quite able to overcome Mount Si's big-time runs to overcome that and come up with a state title. But Jay Simmons, a tremendous job for Mike Laws and his ball club, another member of our all-state team. When you talk about impact on a game and understanding, knowing your skill set and really putting your footprint on the game, that is our next member of the 4A All-State team, and that is Caden Perry from Battleground High School. Multiple 20-point, 20-rebound games over the course of the year. Many 5-plus block shot games throughout the course of the year. Coach Manny Mello told me throughout the year that defenses would gear up to stop him, and they would take away one thing. Caden Perry kept his composure. He would just go get the ball off the offensive glass and get his buckets in that way. He would be an impact player on the defensive end by altering shots, blocking shots, and then coming up with the rebound, igniting fast break opportunities. So another member of our all-state 4A team, Caden Perry. Staying in the Southwest Washington area, the GSHL Player of the Year, Tanner Toolson, put together a surprising senior year. For those who don't know, for those that saw his improvement from sophomore to junior year, you weren't surprised in it by any way to see the improvement from junior year to senior year. He was a tremendous player for Coach Blake Connolly. That's why Tanner Toolson rounds out our 4A All-State team for Scorebook Live Washington. For the 4A level, to round out our accolades as the Coach of the Year and the Player of the Year, we got to go to the same place, and that's to Mount Si. Coach of the Year, Jason Griffith, gets our Coach of the Year at the 4A level. Did a tremendous job motivating his troops after a season ago falling a couple points short against Gonzaga Prep in the title game. Understanding that the season was a long process to get back to where they wanted to be, keeping the guys motivated, keeping the guys understanding what the process at hand looked like and how to get to where they wanted to be. You couldn't skip steps. Jason Griffith just did just that, allowing the Wildcats to get back to the Tacoma Dome and another chance at the state tournament. So Jason Griffith, the 4A Coach of the Year. Staying at Mount Si for our 4A Player of the Year, a St. Mary's commit. He's already signed to be a Gale for Coach Randy Bennett, Jabe Mullins. He was a part of our player diaries early in this year, talked a little bit about how the motivation of losing the state title game was imploring him and his teammates to leave no stone unturned to have a chance to get back not only to the state tournament, but the title game and win it this season. Well, with his leadership, his guidance, his ability to make big plays down the course of the title game, they did just that. So our 4A Scorebook Live Washington State Player of the Year. Lots of tough decisions to be made at the 4A level. Myself, Andy Bueller, one of our junior lists, talked to many coaches throughout the state, watched many games in person, watched many game films. We are excited about our Scorebook Live Washington 4A All-State team and our 4A All-State accolades. For Scorebook Live Washington, I'm Dan Dickau.